Welcome. My name is Lucky, and in this lesson, we're going to be talking about commenting your code. Now, commenting your code is another word for leaving a note to yourself for future remembrance, probably, or rather. So, let's say I remove this information. I remove this information and I remove this information and I call this variable, let me call this variable z2, and I call this one pr, and I call this one h, and then I remove this information, and then I also remove this information. Now tell me, if I give you this program to modify, would you know what this information, what this variable mean? What does this variable mean? What this one mean? What this one mean? Who wrote this program? Would you? You wouldn't. And you may easily say this is simple because it does not contain a lot of code. But you may find yourself in a company where someone has developed a program. He or she did not comment, did not leave a note, but everything is just looking awkward, and then they hand it over to you to modify. You don't know where to begin because nothing is telling you what this variable is doing, nothing is telling you what this part of the program is doing, or nothing is telling you what this information is all about. It becomes a problem. But if I go back and leave everything the same as it was, now tell me, wouldn't it make sense a little bit? If I leave it the way it was right now and hand it over to you, won't you be able to know that this program called payroll.cpp is written by Lucky? This program calculates company payroll. The last day I modified it was on November 20 and then 2022. It makes sense. And when you look at this variable called employee ID, of course, I did leave a comment saying that this employee ID is gonna be holding the employee number, the ID number of the employee, and employee's hourly pay rate. This variable is for employee hourly pay rate, and I can leave another comment and call this one, this variable is called employee working hours, the number of hours he or she worked. So if I were to run this, nothing is gonna happen because I'm not printing anything on the screen. But commenting your code is very important because you may not know who is going to read your code. For example, you might be working in a company, and then the company, you developed a program for the company, and suddenly you got a new job, or you want to open your own business, and so you quit, or you resign. Somehow they hired another programmer or another software developer, and then they want that software, let's say it happened to be you, but or it happened to be me. If I comes and then they hand me this program to modify, probably later on in the future, your program should be able to tell me that this part of the program is doing this part of the program is doing that. But if you don't leave a note, it becomes a problem to me to modify. Now twist it other words. If I don't write a comment to you, it becomes a problem. If a company hand you a code that is undocumented or uncommented. So please, it is really important as you progress with developing your programs. Leaving a note for yourself is important. because you may end up having to go back for it after a few months, after 6 months, or after a year for you to make changes. And when you come back for it, you will thank yourself because the note that you have left when you started building the program will remind you of what you are actually thinking in that very moment. So I hope it's clear enough as to what commenting is all about. Now, remember there are two ways of commenting in C++. So we have a single line comment where it ignores this line, ignores everything from the forward slash, double forward slash to the end of line. And then we have this multi-line comment where you just write out this. It ignores everything from here up until here. So it's really a good strategy for you. You choose which one is good for you or is you are comfortable with. But as a programmer, there is always one or two um, method of commenting that a programmer prefer for himself. So as you progress, please always leave a note for yourself for future references. So this marks the end of our video, but let me just say I'm printing out, I'm just let me give it our employee ID. I'll just copy that because today I'm lazy to type, so I'll just copy this. No, let me just equate it, assign it to be 125, and then our pay rate, how much are we being paid per hour, so let's call it $20. And then how many hours did we work? We work like let's say 5 hours a day. So let's calculate that. See out your daily payment or your daily rate is pay rate, which is this, multiplies by the number of hours we worked, and then end of line we terminate that. So we're gonna say our pay rate or our daily pay is 20 times 5. If I'm not good enough, if I'm good in maths, I think that will be 100. So let me run that, and then boom, your daily pay is $100. So that is just you know what this program is all about. But if I leave a comment and say multiply to calculate daily payment, multiply the pay rate by the number of hours worked, so this is a comment. So we just did that. So to calculate daily payment, multiply the pay rate by the number of hours worked, of course, which we just did. But the compiler always ignores this comment, anything starting from the double forward slash, and this anything starting with this asterisk and the backward slash. So I'll just run that again and it will still display the same thing on the screen. So yeah, so this marks the end of our video.